creative, empathetic, resilient, and who choose to make an impact.
Thank you. Mr. Jaime, would you like to introduce the presenters?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches. In recognition of students earning a Young Writers Club recognition, Mr. Rory Carl and Ms. Dana Serno will do the presentation to our students.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we are honored to recognize a group of outstanding students who have demonstrated creativity, dedication, and a passion for writing. Each year, the Young Writers Contest receives an incredible number of submissions. This year, over 67,000 entries were received. We are incredibly proud that several of our Dover students had their work selected for publication, a testament to their talent and the commitment of their teachers in fostering a love of writing. At both the elementary and high school levels, students engaged in a creative writing process, crafting pieces that captivated and impressed the contest judges. At this time, I'd like to invite our incredible English language arts supervisor, Ms. Dana Sarno, to recognize more details about the contest, the incredible work our students produced, and to recognize our young authors.
Thank you. So this contest was really able to provide students with an incredible opportunity to develop their voices as writers. Writing is an essential skill, but contests like this really allow students to see writing as more than just an academic task, and it really becomes a creative outlet and a way for them to share their ideas. We are thrilled to recognize students at both the high school and elementary levels for their achievements in this competition. At Dover High School, under the guidance of Ms. Deborah Southwood Smith, 8 students from our dual enrollment creative writing class submitted their original work and were selected for publication in the Young Writers magazine, Fright Club Fiction from the USA. And at Eastover Elementary, Ms. Melissa Matarazzo's students participated in the Mini Saga's Young Writers Scary Tales contest. A total of 13 sixth graders and an entire class of 25 fifth grade students had their stories chosen for publication. We are so proud of the students and their teachers for embracing this opportunity. At this time, I'd like to invite up Ms. Matarazzo, accompanied by her student teacher and Dover alumni, Ms. Mendoza, to share a few words about her students and read aloud the names of the winners.
Hello, everybody. We're very excited to recognize our talented writers that participated in this contest. So without further ado, we'd like to call up each one by one to receive a little token of celebration. Okay. All right, we will start with 5th grade. Matthew Acosta. Some of them weren't able to make it. We can clap for them all, yes. April Nizama Arias. Vanessa Odello. Valentina Briseno. Anna Brito. Xavier Carrero. Jacob Sabelos. Amber Barrientos. Mariam El Said. Austin Jimenez. Taliana Ortiz. Abigail Leandro. Abby Mattison. Iris Aguero. Scarlett Requena. Brianna Reyes. Sebastian Rivera. Sahira Rivas Rodriguez. Carter Rosado. Gabriela Salgado. Bless you. Mia Santana. Leah Sarno Sierra. Emmanuel Toribio. Janelli Urena. And Maria Vigil. So what you see up front are our 5th grade students that were able to make it tonight. So just one more round of applause for them first. Parents, you can come up and take a picture if you'd like. All right, congrats 5th grade. You can have a seat.
Hello. I'll go ahead and start with the 6th graders. Alistair Adams. Selena Flores. Kyla James. Brian Marrero. Alejandro Marquez. Giovanni Mazza. Isabella Mondragon. Ashley Pais. Priscilla Quispe. Isabella Sosa. Christopher Bellasella. Riley Wilson. And Matthew Yamoza. All right, parents, you could go ahead and take your pictures.
Thank you, and congratulations to all our elementary winners. Thank you, guys. You can have a seat. Congratulations. Next at Dover High School, students in Miss Deborah Southwood Smith's dual enrollment creative writing class submitted their original pieces, and 8 of them were selected for publication. At this time, I will call Miss Southwood Smith up to speak and to say their names.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Yeah, we had 8 students submit, and 8 students were accepted, were published. It's a dual enrollment class, so these students are taking the credit for college credit. And they're extraordinary writers. They're really extraordinary writers. I'm so proud of them. So we have Amanda Schwazik, Jose Delgado Castellano, Caitlin Javier, Karina Sanchez, Ileana Thompson, Raisa Torres, Emily Tyrone, and Justin Viveros. And even though high school students are a little harder to get out, all of the pieces are right in the display case when you come in through the lobby. They're only 100 words a piece, so if you want to stop by on your way out and take a look at them, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And like Ms. Southwood Smith said, this is our dual enrollment class. This is the first year that we're running it, so it's really great that we're able to provide these opportunities for them. So once again, we want to say congratulations to all our young authors, and thank you so much to Ms. Matarazzo, Ms. Mendoza, and Ms. Southwood Smith for incorporating this into their classes, and thank you for all their guidance and for the board allowing us for this recognition. Thank you so much.
I just want to say that I did a little research on the young writers, and I think this is a wonderful organization, working to help turn students' imagination and creative talent into confidence and writing skills. And I think this was founded in the UK in 1991, but they want students to be confident writers and hopefully get published someday. So I'd like to congratulate all our young writers and encourage you to keep writing and hope to read one of your published books one day. Anyone from the board have anything to say?
I
Everybody
do.
good?
Can I say something real quick,
Sure.
please? So 2 things. First, I just want to say congratulations to all of our students for this achievement. And then secondarily, I have a request. If any player who plays rec basketball, yes, Brian, I'm looking at you, can please go towards the back to Valentina's mother so she can take a picture and send it to me so that I can share it on the rec basketball page to celebrate you guys there as well. So Valentina is here, April is here, Brian is here. I think that's everybody that's here. So thank you. Congratulations.
All right, this brings us to the first public comment segment of our meeting. And this is for agenda items only. The board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters. To ensure fair and orderly expression of such comment, each statement shall be held to a time period of 3 minutes. Public comments, limited to terms on this agenda, shall be entertained for approximately 30 minutes upon the discretion of the presiding officer. Please understand that public comment portions of our agenda are not structured as question and answer sessions, but rather they are offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. The board may or may not respond to public comments. However, all comments are considered and will be investigated and addressed as appropriate. Please be courteous and mindful of the rights of others when providing comments. Comments may not be abusive, obscene, threatening, or irrelevant. Please understand that students and employees have specific legal and privacy protections. The board is not permitted to respond in public to comments about students or employees. Please be advised that you are commenting at your own risk. Any public comments that are directed at a particular individual or individuals could subject you to legal liability for defamation. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak on agenda items only? If so, please come up to the microphone. I don't see anybody, so I will close this public portion. Okay, on to the families. I'm sure you probably have somewhere else better to be than this meeting, so if you would like to leave, feel free to go.
No.
Brian, you can stay.
Don't give them an option.
All right, while people are leaving, we can continue. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mrs. Schauer. Any discussion, questions? Okay, Mr. Sabahulu, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Esfero?
Here.
Ms. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. McCord?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Pinales?
Yes.
Dr. Sinner?
Yes.
Ms. Shower?
Yes.
Ms. Solness?
Abstain.
Mr. Miller?
Yes. Okay, whole board communications, we have one. We have a thank you card for Miss Josandra Bailey from the Academy Street Kindergarten. And it's addressed to the Board of Education. I hope this message finds you well. I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude for the unwavering support and dedication your board provides to our school community. The Board of Education makes a significant difference in our lives, in the lives of our students, and helps us create a nurturing environment where they can thrive. Thank you once again for being such an integral part of our school community. So thank you, Academy Street. That's very nice. Mr. Lay, do you have a report for us?
Yes, I do. So for the start of my report, I want to report about some exciting news regarding our Dover Olympics event here at the high school. We had just kicked off our first event, which was a competition for a logo regarding the Dover Olympics. We had each grade 9 through 12 to submit one design that represented the Dover Olympics, having some type of sport or competition theme, while also including like some Dover themes like tigers, paw prints, and having our mascot in it and our school colors. And the results of that contest will be posted soon. And next, at the high school, currently the Student Government Association and the National Honor Society have partnered together with the New Jersey Brain Injury Alliance to help improve traffic safety here at the high school. A grant had just been approved for us to start working on this project. Recently, as the first part of this project, we had sent out a survey to the district and the town regarding transportation safety. And with that information going forward, we will start working on fixing some traffic issues here at the high school, which will have more information going forward. And recently here at the high school, we had presentations given out to the students about new elective and classes that are available for the students to take next school year, and about 13 new courses were added to the curriculum. And some events coming up at the high school, we have the Black History Month Celebration Assembly on February 21st, and on March 5th, there will be a mini college fair here at the high school. And on March 11th and 12th, there will be NJ GPA testing here at the high school. And March 13th, we will also be starting our blood drive, our very first one here at the high school. However, parental permission will be needed, and there will be a link and registration sent out to everyone. And last, on March 14th through the 16th, there will be a musical Little Shop of Horrors event going on here at the high school as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lay. Great report. Does anyone have a question for our student representative? No? Okay. Going to give a president's report. Let me start out by saying it's been a very busy month for our board. Committees have been meeting with board members working closely with the school administration. Mr. Jaime, Ms. Phillips, and I are in communication nearly every day. I want to thank all of our board members for their dedication and for all the time that they choose to volunteer. We know that these times are difficult. The political climate in our country has made many of our families feel uncertain, even afraid. From concerns about immigration policies to the removal of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, we recognize that these challenges directly impact our students, their education, and their well-being. But let me be clear. The Dover Public Schools are committed to being a place where all students, no matter where they come from or what language they speak at home, are safe, valued, and empowered to succeed. We will not allow fear or division dictate the future of our children. Education should be a source of hope and opportunity, not anxiety or exclusion. That is why we will continue fostering an environment where every student has the right to learn, grow, and thrive, without fear of discrimination or injustice. Our strength lies in the unity in the way we support one another as a community. So to our students, you belong here. To our families, we see you, we hear you, and we will continue to stand with you. Together, we will ensure that our schools remain a safe haven of opportunity, understanding, and acceptance for all. As we celebrate Black History Month, we take this time to honor the rich history, resilience, and countless contributions of Black Americans to our country and our community. This month is not just about reflection, it's about recognition, education, and inspiration. In Dover Public Schools, we are committed to fostering an inclusive environment where all students can learn about the achievements, struggles, and cultural impact of Black leaders, thinkers, and trailblazers. We encourage our students to use this time to learn, engage, and embrace the values of unity, justice, and excellence that Black history represents. Together, let's continue to uplift and celebrate the voices that have helped shape our past and will inspire our future. Okay. Administrative reports, Mr. Jaime?
All right. Buenas noches, good evening. Just to follow up on your report, Black History Month, I'm going to share a little bit of the details that our students have been participating throughout the district. And upper grade students, 4 to 6, are exploring spiritual and Underground Railroad. They are delving into the music of Malia Jackson, who is a civil rights leader, instrumental in helping Dr. Martin Luther King, and she credited for encouraging him to deliver the I Have a Dream speech. At a younger grade, they're exploring iconic music favorites like Louis Armstrong, considering not only his great piece, What a Wonderful World, but also his message. And DHS and DMS have participated in Black History Month assemblies, daily messages, and highlighting notable African Americans during the morning announcements. On February 10th, I'm pleased to share that our staff is actively participated in a variety of robust professional development programs. These include specialized sessions for special ed, writers workshop tailored specifically for elementary administrators, and many other enriching opportunities. The initiatives are designed to enhance our educational practices and support our ongoing commitment to excellence. On that same day, I walked around just to kind of see some of the workshops happening, and I want to highlight the power of being seen at Dover Middle School. This is a midpoint year where the Dover Middle School provides a workshop for how our staff connects with our students. They identify where are some of the strengths and where they've connected, and where are some of the kids that we still need to connect with throughout the remainder of the year. There's a program that was started many years ago, and it's continued now to this day, and kudos for the staff to continue out the tradition of the importance of building that rapport and relationship with our students. All right, dual language. On February 24th, we have a team going down to North Plainfield to visit schools who have worked with dual language for the last 8 years, and we're going to be observing areas of support, scheduling, and programming. I want to thank all of our parents who participated in our attendance survey. We had 326 parents participate in our recent survey. We were diligently reviewing their feedback and incorporating into our weekly updates. So our school administration will be sharing out some of the information. For example, in our responses, we found that families needed more information about our school policies, our vaccination requirements, as well as our attendance procedures. And we will continue to use this valuable information to keep our community well informed and updated. I want to highlight esports, which is the first year we've participated in esports at Dover High School. And this year, as the first year, esports has been overall officially instilled and divided the year into 3 seasons. We are right now able to get we were able to hit the ground running in the winter season, and we were able to get ourselves into Street Fighter 6. And our first esport matches against other schools we've been undefeated. And now on March 1st at Georgian Court, we will be into the playoffs. So if anyone can attend, please, I welcome all to join. Once again, it'll be March 1st. I'll send out further information as the date gets closer if we want to go down and support our esports students. All right, North Dover. I want to congratulate Ms. Tideman and Ms. Bullock. A third grade class was exceptional efforts in presenting the Wax Museum, a creative costume engaging and presentation in-depth research. Students brought historical figures to life, showcasing their remarkable achievements and their hard work enthusiasm on full display, captivating a full house of visitors and making the event a memorable success. All right, and that is all. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Jaime?
Given the national events that President Miller mentioned in his report, I'm wondering if you could give us sort of an overview of what we have seen in regards to enrollments and withdrawals during this period as opposed to last year, and if there's been any noticeable dips.
Sure. So when I first reviewed the data in regards to registration and withdrawals from this year to last year and around this time from January 24, 2025, the numbers really aren't sticking out there, with the exception of more elementary and preschool with low registration numbers than that of the high school or middle school. But in total, we are right now at 97 students less than we had last year at this point of the year. I'm definitely curious to see the totals for February. As you know, the month of January is kind of short, and some families are still on vacation. I think the numbers for February will definitely be able to provide us more accurate reading of what it looks like.
Anyone else have a question?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Miller, for expressing the views of the board in general. Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Sabahulu, Business Administrator's Report.
Good evening. We are finally done with the meetings with the budget managers, meaning supervisors, administrators. So we will start entering all the appropriations in the system to see the whole picture for the district. The governor will deliver his budget message on Tuesday, February 25th at 3 p.m. Then New Jersey Department of Education has 48 hours to release the state aid appropriations to each district. With that said, we are going to have the information which we are going to see our revenue by Thursday afternoon, February 27th. Then we're going to be adjusting the budget according to that. We received the semi-projections. Semi meaning is Special Education Medicaid Initiative. This is one of the grants we received. With no explanation so far, the state lowered the revenues for all districts. For Dover, our revenue went down by $107,000, which whole grant was a little over 140. So we lost most of the revenue. Item 14 on the agenda in the finance section is a proposal from USA Architects for approval of the inspections and all the other professional services for our proposed purchase of 242 Route 46 building. Item 16 is for awarding HANA's Mechanical Incorporation for the HVAC project funded partially by the ROD grant and the local funds. The contract approval is very time sensitive to receive the equipment on time for the summer installation. That's why the contract is up for approval under ESCNJ, New Jersey Education Service Commission contract, so we don't have to bid out. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Sabahulu? No? Okay. Go on to the Board of Ed reports. Morris County Educational Services Commission. I did attend their meeting last week, but there was nothing of importance to report to this board. Legislative report, Dr. Sainer?
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Morris County New Jersey School Boards Association, Ms. Downs?
Good evening. The MCSBA held their meeting virtually on Wednesday, February 5th at 6:45. The topic was creating an effective board culture, governance, collaboration, and mentorship, part 2. The agenda, the YouTube playlist of MCSBA meetings dating back to fall 22, PowerPoint slides, developing an onboarding process presentation, and the new NJSBA board self-evaluation presentation are on the MCSBA website. Wednesday, March 5th is the deadline for the Unsung Heroes. Each high school is entitled to one 12th grade student. Each K-8 district is entitled to one 8th grade student, and each K-6 district is entitled to one 6th grade student. Submission link for school administrators is on the MCSBA website. The next meeting is the Unsung Heroes event and will take place at Morris Knolls High School on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. If you are interested in serving on the Morris County SBA Executive Committee for the 25-27 term, please check the MCSBA website. The deadline is March 1st. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for, God bless you, for administrative approval?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Salinas. Okay, any discussion? Dr. Sainer?
I see that we are approving a school calendar. Could you describe the process and how the school calendar was devised, and then feedback gotten from all interested parties?
Absolutely. We have team members from K all the way up to 12, also different representative from each unit. And in that conversation, when gathering the information to put together the calendar, they do research of the surrounding districts as well as with Mine Hill, which is a sending district to us. And they compare, make sure that they're filling in the whole 180 days for students, 185 for staff, and being also mindful of our calendars and our 5 PD days. And they come together, and what they do is they create several drafts of different calendars in hopes of giving different options of what work for what we're looking for the district. And over the course of the last year or so, we as a committee have been really working closely to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our students contractually as well as relation and law, but at the same time, how do we organize our PDs throughout the year so that it continue to have that impact that we're looking for our students, and staff.
Thank you.
Mr. McCourt?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Sainer, for reminding me that I was going to ask a question about this. At the last meeting, we talked about a calendar for 26, 27 being adopted at the same time, and I see that that is not on the agenda. Could you possibly discuss where that is?
Absolutely. So we do have a 26, 27 school calendar. We have 3 drafts ready to continue to explore. The reason we have not submitted it for approval is because we are trying to compare to the other districts as well as to align some of our dates, make sure that they're working specifically with Mine Hill.
Do you see that being something we will be able to do this year? When I say this year, I mean during this school year, or do you think this is something that's going to have to wait until this time next year?
My objective is to get it done by this year. I hope to communicate with superintendent over at Mine Hill and share our drafts in hopes of when they construct their calendar, they can kind of align it with ours.
Okay. Mr. Sabahulu, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Acevedo?
Yes.
Ms. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. McCourt?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Pinales?
Yes.
Dr. Sinner?
Yes.
Ms. Shower?
Yes.
Ms. Solness?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes. Ms. Solanas, can you please move personnel?
So I would like to make a motion to approve personnel items 1 through 13.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Who was it?
I said it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right. Any questions? Dr. Sainer?
I would just like to give a warm welcome back to the alumni and former educators who are joining or rejoining our staff.
Yes. Great.
Ms. Miller, I have a question.
Oh, yes, Ms.
For the leave replacement health and physical education teacher, is $345 per day, I'm assuming? Am I correct to assume that?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Sabahulu, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Acevedo?
Yes.
Ms. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. McCourt?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Pinales?
Yes.
Dr. Sinner?
Yes.
Ms. Shower?
Yes.
Ms. Solness?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes. Negotiations, Ms. Solanas.
The negotiation committee met with the Dover Administration Association on February 4th, and we will be meeting again on March 6th.
Okay, thank you. Okay, governance, Ms. Downs.
The Governance Committee met virtually on January 28th from 6 to 6:45. The 2025 Governance Committee members consist of Ms. Downs, Mr. Jaime, Mr. McCourt, Mr. Miller, and Ms. Salinas. All members were present. Items that were discussed during this meeting were selecting the Governance Committee chairperson, which is myself, establish a CSA evaluation timeframe with dates, go over the new format of the board self-evaluation in the near future, organize board retreat, review documents for new board members or in onboarding, make sure the board is keeping up with their goals each quarter, document progress on board goals, and the board goals are, as a reminder, for 24-25 are the goal number 1 is to increase training for all board members. Goal 2 is to promote community and stakeholder engagement. Goal 3 is to promote and increase the board's efforts in sharing the factors that impact the district. Goal 4 is the governance committee shall monitor and report on board goals on a quarterly basis. The next meeting is scheduled virtually for February 25th.
So that may need to change. It may need to be in person. because it's the same night as finance and facilities.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be in person.
That's fine with me, because.
Okay. Mr. McCourt, was there something that you were going to add to the governance about a policy or something that we're going to have to look at, or that's going to be an agenda item for the next meeting?
That would be an agenda item for
Okay.
the next governance committee meeting. yeah.
Okay. All right. Student achievement and curriculum, Dr. Sainer.
Thank you. I have too many windows open. We met on February 11th at 5:30. All members of the committee were present along with Mr. Jaime and Mr. Carl. We had a jam-packed schedule. We looked at 4 new curricula that we will be approving tonight: ESL 6, Spanish Language Arts Honors 1 and 2, and the second phase of the ELA Grade 2 curriculum. We watched a presentation that was sent out to students for all of the electives in the English department, and discussed how recommendations are currently being done at the high school level. We looked at the 2025-2026 program of studies. Some highlights are that there have been a lot of changes within the fine and performing arts classes, with many of our full year classes being changed to semester courses to give students more options and flexibility. We are trying to make the CTE program more accessible to more students at a reasonable cost to the district. There are expanded business department offerings such as entrepreneurship, social media marketing, and communication. And there will be a freshman experience course offered next year. It will be a 2.5 credit course, so a semester course that all freshmen will take that, amongst other things, will give them more opportunities to connect with their guidance counselors. We discussed using Magic School as a form of AI for students and staff and how that might happen in a classroom. We discussed the February 10th Professional Development Day. We looked at the elementary teachers' collaboration schedule, which is pretty amazing that they are meeting twice a month, so that there is an opportunity for teachers within the same school and even across the district to meet and collaborate. We got into the proposals for changes to our gifted and talented model, but there is more work to be done there. Committee members, I will be sending out a doodle poll asking if we can meet next week virtually to continue our discussion on that. We found out about an amazing opportunity for some of our Dover students to attend a program at Columbia University School of Engineering. This would be for an approximately a 2.5-3 week residential summer program at Columbia, where students can take courses in many different engineering related fields. This fully funds that students' attendance from tuition, room and board, meals, and activities. And a shout out to Jackie Camacho, who is a Dover alumni from the class of 2012, for bringing this to our administrators as a way to get some of our Dover students in it. A second shout out to Dr. Kalina, who applied for, we'll be approving this in finance, but applied for a $50,000 grant for Kibo robots for our students to be used in an after-school program. And then a tremendous thank you to the student, staff, and parents who participated in the DMS Character Counts interview team. And then we also discussed the esports update and the Young Writers Contest that we celebrated at the beginning of the meeting tonight. With that, I would move that we accept items number 1 through 16 for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Shower. Any discussion?
I did have a question that I submitted to Mr. Jaime about one of the, or actually 3 of the class trips, the field trips, and the absence of cost to the district. Could you give us a little explanation of the Dover Middle School and North Dover?
Sure. So for Dover Middle School, the field trips there are, the majority of the cost is paid by students. The administration works with our families and the coordinator for the trip to put together a payment plan for each of the trips so that the parents and families can participate in the field trips, and then we also provide some assistance through scholarships for some of our students, and some of the other partial payment comes from the district with it. And for the North Dover field trip to Liberty Science Center, it is partial payment from the district and students.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Miller, I don't have a question, but I just want to say that I'm super excited that we have 9 students from different colleges with the clinical placement request. I think it's a great way to support future educators. Thank you for that.
Anyone else? No? Can we have a roll call?
Ms. Acevedo?
Yes.
Ms. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. McCourt?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Pinales?
Yes.
Dr. Center?
Yes.
Ms. Shower?
Yes.
Ms. Solness?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes. Okay, community relations, Mr. McCourt.
The Community Relations Committee met in joint with the Citizens Advisory Committee on Monday, February 10th at the Dover Library. Present were myself, Ms. Pinales, and Ms. Phillips, as well as 5 of the Citizens Advisory Committee members. We held a very good discussion about some ongoing issues that have been communicated in prior meetings regarding attendance by students from Victory Gardens, and some new issues were brought to the table, which I have submitted to the administration for feedback, and we'll hopefully be able to provide those responses at our next Citizens Advisory Committee meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, April 1st. Our next Community Relations Committee meeting is scheduled virtually for Tuesday, March the 4th. That concludes my report, but I do need to move that the board open up applications for membership to the Citizens Advisory Committee. I was previously a member and obviously had to step down from that when I assumed this position. The Community Relations Committee members and I talked about whether or not we wanted to fill that position, and it was decided that we should. And so I would move that the board open up applications, preferably to be submitted by March 3rd, so that we could then review those applications at our March Community Relations meeting and present a name to be appointed at our March board meeting.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Questions, Dr. Sainer?
Could I ask what the term is of the community relations? I thought they served a school year term.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's correct.
Okay, so the person that we would select to fill that position would attend an April, May, and possibly June meeting?
A March, or yes, April. There's 4 meetings left in the school year.
Right, but if we
But
did
yes.
not select them until our this board's March meeting, they would only attend an April, May, and June community relations meeting.
There's 2 meetings
Those
in
mon-
April,
but
though.
There's 2 meetings. in
Okay,
it, yeah.
thank you for that
Yeah.
clarification.
I have a question. Is that part of the policy that we are to replace any members who exit for any reason?
I can answer that. So the policy says that it's at the board's discretion to replace the positions. So what I had, after reading that, what I had shared with Mr. McCourt was that the committee should meet and determine whether they felt like there was a need to add an extra person or to fill those roles. And that was the discussion that they had, and they feel that that's the case. So that's why he's bringing the motion today. We don't have to fill it, but it's at our discretion. So if we feel that that's something that needs to be done, then that's what we would do.
All right, thank
And
you.
I'm only answering because Mr. McCourt had asked me, and so I read it to be able to answer his question. So I just happen to know it off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Acevedo?
Yes.
Ms. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. McCourt?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Pinales?
Yes.
Dr. Center?
Yes.
Ms. Shower?
Yes.
Ms. Solness?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes. Okay, Policy Committee, Ms. Pinales.
Good evening. The policy committee had a long meeting on February 11th. We have many policies for first reading. Policy 9320, cooperation with law enforcement agencies. It was mandated to be revised. The Board of Education recognizes that keeping students and staff safe and keeping children and helping children understand and respect the law is best served by a close and cooperative relationship with local law enforcement. So our MOA was changed in order to reflect this. Policy 7441, electronic surveillance in school buildings and on school grounds, was also revised. The board should enter into a memorandum of understanding with local law enforcement authorities, providing the authorities with the capacity to activate the equipment and view live streaming video during an emergency situation. Policy 5710, student grievance. The procedure outlined in this policy shall be used to address a student grievance that is not elsewhere in a board policy, regulation, and/or grievance, with a procedure specifically designed to address the conduct in question. A student grievance shall be heard in a three-level manner, and this three-level manner is explained in this policy. Policy 5533, student smoking. This policy defines smoking, its possession, and the definition of electronic smoking devices for the purposes of the policy. Principals and designees shall be trained to identify and control dangerous substances in electronic smoking devices. Policy 5516, the use of electronic communication devices. The Board of Education has determined the use of cell phones and other electronic communication devices by students for personal use during the school day, and school activities should be limited. As used in this policy, electronic communication device includes any device with the capability to audio or video record and or is capable of receiving or transmitting any type of communication with others. Policy 5512, harassment, intimidation, or bullying. The Board of Education recognizes that bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior that may involve real or perceived power imbalance. Some highlights or things to know could be that law enforcement officials may request a suspension or stay of the district harassment, intimidation, or bullying investigation if the conduct is being investigated by law enforcement. If law enforcement officials request a suspension or stay of a harassment, intimidation, or bullying investigation, school officials will follow the provisions of the MOA regardless of where the district is in the harassment, intimidation, or bullying investigation timelines. Policy 5460, high school graduation, also revised. This policy was revised to state and further clarify that now our students need 120 graduation credits, is also the state requirement. It also incorporated FAFSA to be filled in order to graduate. There is a waiver option if the student needs it. Policy 5111, eligibility of resident, non-resident students, it was also revised. Policy 2365, acceptable use of generative artificial intelligence, AI. This is a new policy. The Board of Education recognizes the use of artificial intelligence may result in increased and enhanced learning opportunities for students in the school district. The board adopts this policy to provide guidelines and expectations for student use of generative AI. For the purpose of this policy, AI means all types of generative AI technology that creates new content or outputs from and prompt to produce text, images, videos, or music. Policy also defines AI tools, assignment, and lists the district AI plan to include details addressing a variety of issues. The district AI plan will be reviewed and or revised as needed. For regulations on first reading, we have Regulation 9320, Regulation 7441, Regulation 5333, and Regulation 5516, which is a new regulation, the use of electronic communication devices. For job descriptions, we updated for positions to report to superintendent and not assistant superintendent. We have vice principal, technology integration specialist, supervisor of special services, director of preschool education, dean of students, database administrator, contact supervisor K-12, chief technology, business administrator, board secretary, and behaviorist. We also had some discussions and review about policy 9150, and Regulation 9150, school visitors, sexual harassment. Also had a brief discussion on homework, access to education, student privacy and immigration, use of electronic devices. And we concluded by stating our next meeting, which will be on March 11th. I'm sorry, that was
Okay.
long.
Thank you.
With that, I would like to make a motion to approve items 1 through 3 under policy.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. And thank you for that report. And yes, it was a long meeting, but a very important one.
It was very important.
Are there any questions or discussion? Dr. Sainer?
I have a question about content supervisor. This is a 12-month position. I know that some districts have both, well, actually 10, 11, and 12-month. Has the 12-month position always been the case in Dover?
No, supervisors before were a 10-month position. I believe it was changed, I want to say 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, it was changed to 12.
But this is not a change at this moment?
No.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Mr. McCourt?
We discussed in the meeting, and I've been trying to find which policy this was, so forgive me for that. But there was a conversation had about the definition of the word parent, and it was found in one policy and was very detailed, and we talked about adding that to other policies. I thought when I looked the other day that I didn't see that change had been made to one of the policies. I just wanted to, if that's something that is being reviewed, and maybe that's why, but I remembered that, and I did not see it.
It might have been overlooked or something we'll take care
Okay.
of. Hmm?
Yeah, because it was
And
supposed to be
I'll continue looking to try to figure out
Yeah.
which policy
I
that
believe it was part of policy 9320.
You think it was in?
I think it was in
9320,
there
and
in the,
we wanted to take that and put it in
the
another.
other.
and
Mhm.
substitute the language so
Yeah.
that it was consistent
Right.
across the board.
Right.
Yeah. Any other questions or
I
discussion?
have a question. So I have a question which I didn't submit before because it just kind of dawned on me, but policy 5516 and regulation 5516, which talk about use of electronic communication devices, from what I can see, it doesn't reference the scenario at the high school where the students have to put their phones in the pouches when they, walk into the classroom. And I thought at some point we had talked about, I believe that the policy and the regulation needs to address that. I see at one point it talks about it being optional, but it's like not checked off. So, I mean, maybe you had that conversation and we missed it, but just looking at this, like there's one section that says if a student brings their phone to school, they assume the responsibility of that phone. But one could argue that if you take possession of my phone when I walk into a classroom, now you've taken possession of the phone and you now have the liability if something happens because I don't have the phone, you made me hand it over. And I don't see any of that stuff, so that's my question.
Yeah. In regards to the regulation, what we have done is we provided the regulation for the administration at both three levels, elementary, middle school, and high school, only because at each 3 levels, the rules are different based on the handbook. What they're going to do is align the regulation to their procedures and protocols within their building so that it's all aligned with our policy and regulations.
But eventually, so I guess my question is, at some point, it will reflect what is actually happening, and I can only speak for the high school because, I don't know what they do at the middle school or elementary school as far as phones, but at some point, it will reflect from the high school perspective that the student's expectation is that they're supposed to put their phone in the pouch thing when they walk in their classroom.
Dr. Sainer?
One more, just a comment. The question that I asked about the content supervisor, I had to ask that because that job description is not present on our website. So it appears that at least some of our job descriptions are not. It's also not easy to find. I had to search for it. I was not able to kind of use logic to find it. I had to use the search. So I don't know how I know the website renovation is fairly new. But there appear to be still some missing items.
We'll address that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Ms. Acevedo,
Yes.
Ms. Downs,
Yes.
Mr. McCord,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Pinales,
Yes.
Dr. Sinner,
Yes.
Ms. Shower,
Yes.
Ms. Solness,
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes. Finance and Facilities, Mrs. Shower.
Thank you very much. I'll start off with the Finance and Facilities meeting did take place, committee meeting, I should say, on February 5th at the Belmont Avenue building. At 5:30 we started. We ended about 6:50. Those present were Mr. Savogulu, Mr. Jaime, Dr. Sainer, Mrs. Acevedo, Mr. Miller, and Ms. Shower. I was asked to chair the committee, and I accepted that position and began taking notes immediately. We discussed the upcoming anticipated challenges of this budgeting season, and we're given an update of the facilities projects in progress, the movement forward on the 242 Route 46 building, which is better known as the Old Dover Sport Building. We're moving forward with that. Deposit was made to secure the purchase. Engineering quotes have been received. More importantly, we are awaiting an unknown time frame for state approval, and everything hinges on state approval. There was an update for the ROD projects. We were awaiting estimates at that time for Dover Middle School, North Dover, on the HVAC upgrades. And the Dover High School generator project is estimated to begin installation in March. The North Dover playground remediation work is in progress as allowed by the weather, of course, when not covered with snow or ice. All of the old product, which has long been contaminated since it is an old dump site, that has been removed. A deep stone base has been laid, and new mulch will be made. And I'm sure Mr. Sabagula will share when that has been completed. One completed project has been the Dover High School gym rooftop HVAC unit has been repaired, and the ceiling in the gym also has been repaired. We discussed various finance options in reference to streamlining our budget, and we are awaiting, our next meeting is actually on February 25th, the evening that the governor does reveal his plan, and I'm sure there will be more discussion after that. So then moving on to finance and facilities, we have the items number 1 through 16 for submission. I did want to mention that item number 15 was the original architect's proposal from USA Architect of $259,000, I think $700, from March of 2024 that Mr. McCourt and I were not here to vote on. So I did ask Mr. Sabagulu to give a copy of it to myself and Mr. McCourt so that we could review it. We did. I did have one question from that, reading that report. It had been mentioned back in 2024 that the updates.
We need a second first.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I'm just
Did
rambling
you
on
moved
here.
it, and we have a second. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to you want to vote on the items first and then?
No, well, we
Okay.
moved it, so now we can have discussion on all of them.
And you second it. Okay. Very good. So the USA proposal mentions that the units that are going to be installed to replace the heating systems at the elementary schools, that since they were only heating units, that the electric would have to be checked to see if it could substantiate the load for a heating/AC unit. And since that was a year ago, I'm just wondering if that was done.
Are you talking about the Rodgrad projects or your sixth
Yes.
grade annex?
Yes, in item number 15, the design proposal, it's mentioned in that proposal.
Okay, Rodgrad projects. So we would move with the hyper heat pumps over there. So it's not going to be the same thing like the high school because we're having a lot of issues with that.
Okay, but the proposal mentioned that we were changing from solitary heat units to heat and AC, which is a bigger load, so that they were going to have to check to see if there was going to be an additional need for upgrading the electricity before starting the projects. So I'm just wondering, was that done? They sort of left it up in the air then.
That I'm not aware of it yet, but this is project for summer. We're just bidding out the contract now, so if it's needed, the contractor needs to deal with it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. We moved and there was a second
Yeah.
to items number 1 through 16.
Yes.
And that's my report.
All right. Any discussion on the finance and facilities items? Any questions? No? Okay. Can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Acevedo?
Yes.
Ms. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. McCourt?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes, with an abstention to payments to vendor 1950.
Ms. Pinellas?
Yes.
Dr. Sinner?
Abstain on check 900002045. Yes to the rest.
Ms. Shower?
Yes.
Ms. Sones?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes. Okay, moving on to informational items, upcoming Board of Education meetings, March 18th, April 24th, which is a Thursday, and May 13th. We had one facility request, the Town of Dover Fire Department, to utilize the North Dover Elementary Cafeteria, a rally point for smoke detection install project. I don't know what that means.
Mr. Miller? Just a reminder, the Dover Band Booster Spaghetti Dinner was postponed until this Saturday due to weather at the old date. So just an invitation to the community to come out on Saturday night to support our marching Tigers. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes, I'll be here.
And this is something that's just occurred to me. I apologize for not communicating it sooner.
Is this old business? Or
No,
new?
this is on the
On
facility
this one?
request.
Okay,
Yep.
sure.
I know what this is. It's the, I believe it's the American Red Cross when they come into town and do the survey of residents to make sure everyone has smoke detectors.
Okay, all right.
Is this something that we've had at a school facility before? I know that they usually have a meeting point. I just don't remember it being in a school building in the past. Is that?
I'm not aware if they've been in the school district before, so I wouldn't be able. I would have to do some research.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any old business? No? Okay. New business, Dr. Sainer?
I just wanted to let board members know of a new training that has appeared since last month. On March 18th, so that's the date of our next meeting, there is a webinar on the transformative power of career and technical education. We've made a lot of improvements and expansion of our CTE program, so especially for board members who are not or have not been on the curriculum committee, registering for this might help you understand a little bit more about what's going on. It is at 1 o'clock, but if you register for the event, you do get sent the recorded webinar that you can watch at your own time. So that, just go to the NJSBA website, go to trainings, and then these free trainings you can register yourself.
Thank you very much. Any other new business?
For new business, I would like to do a quick introduction of our new vice principal at Dover Middle School, Laura Krishiniak.
Welcome. Okay, we're at our second public comment portion of our meeting. The board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters. To ensure fair and orderly expression of such comment, each statement shall be held to a time period of 3 minutes. Public comments, not restricted to items on this agenda, shall be entertained for approximately 30 minutes upon the discretion of the presiding officer. For those who wish to provide public comment remotely, a Google form was posted on the district website at 6:30 p.m. Remote comments will be read by a member of the Board of Education. The Board of Education will alternate between in-person and online comments. Please understand that public comment portions of our agenda are not structured as question and answer sessions, but rather they are offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. The board may or may not respond to public comments. However, all comments are considered and will be investigated and addressed as appropriate. Please be courteous and mindful of the rights of others when providing comments. Comments may not be obscene, abusive, threatening, or irrelevant. Please understand that students and employees have specific legal and privacy protections. The board is not permitted to respond in public to comments about students or employees. Please be advised that you are commenting at your own risk. Any public comments that are directed at a particular individual or individuals could subject you to legal liability for defamation. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to address the board? Are there any comments online?
No.
Okay, that's pretty easy. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I made it.
Yay.
Have a good evening, everyone.
You
Thank
too.
you.